Hey, what's up, guys? Myself, Fredo Cervantes here on Thursday, February the 23rd, and these are the breaks.
These
are the breaks.
These are the breaks.
breaks.
You know what it is.
La 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 la. And we're back here, myself, Fredo Cervantes, here on These Are the Breaks. So today it is Thursday, February the 23rd, and it's a day that the NBA returns after taking an extended break because it seems like they've been off the ground for about 10 days, excluding the NBA All-Star game and all the games that happened over the weekend. Of course, just to also let you guys know, whoever was watching the NBA All-Star game, you maybe were the only one watching it because the ratings came out, and this All-Star game here in Utah, I don't know if Utah can be used as the excuse, but it was the worst rating game so far over the past few years here for the NBA, so it's not a good sign for the NBA. So it might be something that, Adam Silver and the marketing team over there might want to take a look at on how they can improve the NBA All-Star game, because you can see certain players out there, they don't want to be out there. They maybe prefer to be with their families, staying at home, maybe watching the game themselves. Maybe they'll get better ratings like that, because Jokic, Luka Doncic, certain players out there didn't seem like they were very much excited to be there. But it is the case that, Jason Tatum did win the NBA All-Star Game MVP. It was a very, very nice Kobe trophy, and of course, that trophy is dedicated to the late Kobe Bryant. But besides that All-Star Game, we saw Mac McClung kind of light it up on Saturday night with the slam dunk contest as well. So that's kind of back in the picture. Dame Lillard winning the three-point shootout. Of course, we couldn't really expect anybody else to win that. But Dame Time made it also reigned during the All-Star Game, which was very impressive. Multiple players with over 40 points. I don't know if that did not get anyone excited to at least tune into the All-Star Game. Of course, I'm not sure how the ratings worked, but for some of you guys out there, of course, it was very interesting in my case because you were able to watch the All-Star Game on two different channels, two different networks, which is TNT and TBS. I don't know if they combined the ratings together on those two, but the TNT broadcast had, of course, Candace Parker, breaking the record of being the first female to ever announce an NBA All-Star game, alongside Reggie Miller, I believe. And then you had the TBS broadcast having Shaq, Kenny, Charles Barkley, and, Ernie Johnson. So that was two different broadcasts, so I'm not sure which one it was. But either way, certain players did not feel like they wanted to be out there. So Adam Silver, go ahead and fix that game. But another thing that Adam Silver cannot fix is the new look Lakers. Maybe I can try to fix them. Of course, I'm not signing over my fandom to the Lakers right now. I'm not signing over yet, because the question remains whether the Lakers can make the playoffs. We understand the Lakers had one of the most embarrassing ending to a season last year. Of course, they were in New Orleans last season with 5 games left remaining in the regular season, and they lost a game which took them out of contention of making the playoffs. And it was just an embarrassment out there. Knowing that the Lakers and LeBron James had to go into New Orleans to win a game, to make it to the playoffs, or at least stay alive, they couldn't do that last year. This year, LeBron James said it during the All-Star weekend that these upcoming 23 games will be the most important 23 games in the NBA regular season for him. It is time for LeBron James to take some sort of responsibility and accountability for his mistakes, his laziness out on the court, because I can see LeBron is not the same defensive player, that we've all been noticing over the past few decades and whatnot. But LeBron James' legs are maybe coming to an end. He can still jump. He can still run. He can walk, of course. He can score the ball. Leading scorer of all time right now. But can he really keep up with the other young guys? Because it seems like he's always late on rotations, man. If I was Darvin Ham, I'll be screaming at LeBron James. Darvin Ham does not scream. I haven't even heard him scream at all. Let alone scream at LeBron James for not, rotating on defense, allowing an open three out there. So those are certain things that LeBron James is going to have to step it up in the next 23 games. Of course, the Lakers right now are 27-32, 5 games under 500. It is unusual at times for the Lakers to be under 500 during the All-Star break, but Darvin Ham is the coach. LeBron James is in his 20th season. And D'Angelo Russell is back. D'Angelo Russell is back after being in his 8th season in the NBA after spending 3 years with the Lakers. Well, 2.5 years with the Lakers before Magic Johnson traded his ass. But D'Angelo is now back here where it all started for him back in 2015. Can D'Angelo and may he remain with the Lakers after this season? The question lands on Rob Pelinka's desk. That question is on his desk right now. He's maybe reading that paper that says D'Angelo Russell will become an unrestricted free agent this summer. It has been speculated out there that the Lakers are maybe looking into signing D'Angelo Russell prior to the ending of the season. They do want to try to lock him down. They do think that he might be a piece they can use moving forward, which I totally agree with that. I agree with that move. I agree that D'Angelo Russell, the way he's played in 3 games so far with the Lakers, very impressive. I'm happy with the way he's playing, especially with the way he looks with LeBron James. But can that really keep up? AD, can he really stay up to pace? I mean, the other guys, Vanderbilt, he's a very good defensive player. Can he fill in the role of rebounding the ball more? Patrick Beverley is out of the picture now. We got Mo Bamba for him. Can Mo Bamba hit threes, or is he just going to foul out every game? He's very aggressive on the defensive side, which is something that the Lakers really do need, but do not need the foul. So you got to be able to learn how to play defense without fouling. That's a very, very important thing for any player in the NBA. Can you play defense without fouling? And that's something that every coach is trying to look out for. So these new Lakers are facing the Golden State Warriors tonight here at the Crypto.com Arena as the Golden State Warriors are entering the post-All-Star game 29-29. They are right at 500. Steph Curry has been out for the past 2 weeks, since hurting his shoulder. He's not the same, so Curry right now is expected to be out for another 7 to 10 days. He will be reevaluated in a few weeks. That hits the mark again when the Lakers face the Warriors again in 2 weeks from now here at Crypto.com Arena. So the Lakers will be facing the Warriors twice in the next 2 weeks right now. So those will be some very competitive games. But just to answer my own question, will the Lakers or can the Lakers make the playoffs this year? I believe so. Not because of the players, not because of Darvin Ham, because of the schedule remaining. They have the second best remaining schedule facing teams under 500 or teams not in the playoff picture in these upcoming 23 games. So they got a very good roster to be able to make it to the playoffs, including this road trip that they got going on right now as well. So take a look out for that. The Warriors, they're 29-29, 2 wins above the Lakers. I cannot see them maybe even making it to the Western Conference Finals this year. But another team that I do maybe see making the Western Conference Final is the Los Angeles Clippers. And you might think, well, Fredo, do you really think the Clippers can make it to the Western Conference Finals? I certainly believe so. Especially with the attention that Ty Lue might be giving to the newly acquired Russell Westbrook. Can Russell Westbrook play good enough with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard? And some people may say, well, why was he not able to play the way that we needed him to do here in Los Angeles with AD and LeBron James? Well, guess what? AD and LeBron James have not been on the court that many games over the last year and a half. Well, you can maybe say the same situation and same thing about Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. They have not been on the court together for quite some time. But they have been together on the court for the past 3 weeks. They've been playing very great. Only lost 1 game in this road trip before the All-Star break. Kawhi Leonard, kind of not the same player right now. It seems like Paul George might be the number one option for the Clippers right now moving forward with, him being able to stay on the court, shooting about 40% from the three-point line, averaging almost 27 points per game. Paul George, spectacular, amazing. But Russell Westbrook, what is he going to add? Is he going to be a starter? Is he going to be able to play starter minutes? Is he going to be on the court at the end of games? Ty Lue is the only one that can really manage Russell Westbrook. Ty Lue, a lot of players have respect for Ty Lue. You can see that maybe Russell Westbrook will show some respect to Ty Lue. Not the same respect that he gave Darvin Ham the day before Russell Westbrook got traded in that three-way deal. Darvin Ham and Russell Westbrook were heated in the locker room during halftime, going at it. So when you see that kind of play out and you see what maybe Ty Lue can tell Russell Westbrook, hey, you want to win? One thing that I did see Patrick Beverley say, and I got a lot more to say about Patrick Beverley when we come from commercial break, but one thing that Patrick Beverley said on his podcast just yesterday, he said, I texted Russell Westbrook the moment I heard Russell Westbrook committed to going to the Clippers. He's like, I texted him, and I told him, you're going to love it here, bro. That's the exact words that, Patrick Beverley said to Russell Westbrook. He's like, you're going to love it there. You're going to love it. The details they spend, the coaching, the staff they got, the front office they got. And, some people want to say, well, they do have a great front office. They got Lawrence Frank. They got a lot of great, valuable pieces like Jerry West who's still there, even though you guys know that I'm not a Jerry West fan here. But people will respect him. Certain people will respect him. But the Clippers might and can contend for an NBA championship if all the pieces fit together. Because they got Eric Gordon back to stretch the floor. Ivica Zubac being the animal he is. You got Marcus Morris still right there shooting those threes. So you got certain players that might be able to push for a late playoff run. But another team that can push for a late playoff run that might get in their way, it's another Western Conference team from the Pacific Division. Some of you guys might know who it is. I will let you know when we return here on These Are the Breaks.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by...
And we're back here on These Are the Breaks. Myself, Fredo Cervantes. It's beautiful Thursday, February the 23rd, which I'm saying is beautiful out here, but it is raining, guys. There is apparently, they always want to mention, there's a storm coming. I mean, the storm is not here. The storm is in the desert, which we're talking about the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. Yes, those are the quadruple players that we are going to be maybe experiencing an NBA championship for Chris Paul for the first time ever. And yes, you are hearing that from me, because if Kevin Durant, plain and simple, if Kevin Durant can play and stay healthy, these Phoenix Suns are going to the NBA Finals. I'm not saying they're going to win it, because there is a chance if they all play and Kevin Durant is just Kevin Durant on the court, they're going to win whenever that man's healthy. But they might be facing the Boston Celtics, which I can see the Boston Celtics coming out of the East, like they're just walking to the NBA Finals. But Phoenix Suns are really the team that a lot of people are going to be watching in the short second half in the NBA season. They are going to be facing the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow night in Arizona. So it's going to be a primetime game, 7 o'clock, ESPN. You get to see the Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh, my God, that guy was amazing during the All-Star game. He played pretty good as well and shooting the 3-ball. But they're going to be playing the Kevin Durant-less Suns tomorrow night. So Kevin Durant is not back on the court yet. Of course, he is dealing with certain knee problems, ankle problems. He is expected to be back within the next few days, possibly a week or so, but he is sooner than later gonna get back on the court. And what do you expect? A guy like Kevin Durant, 15, 16 years in the league, multiple-time MVP, NBA champion. What do you expect from that guy once he teams up with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton combined with Monty Williams as a head coach? What do you expect? I can certainly tell you that I expect the Phoenix Suns to, at least in the last 23 games, they can at least win 17 out of 23. They can win a majority of those games, especially dealing with the type of schedule they got coming up. They got Thunder, they got the Rockets. I thought I saw Memphis. Memphis is not there all. They're not there. Memphis, I'm done with Memphis. I'm not even dealing with Memphis anymore. But they're playing Memphis a few times, and they're also playing the Lakers in late March. So we're still going to be able to get to see a matchup between that heated Sun team and the Laker ball club. But Kevin Durant, if he stays healthy, he needs to be able to be more of a leader. Even though Chris Paul is the leader, but he's up in that age where certain players out there in the league, they know that, they say out there, I'm not just making this up, this is out there, that Chris Paul's not a good teammate. People don't like listening to Chris Paul. And I heard this, I forgot who I heard it from. Someone's like, well, when you have someone yelling at you, telling you where to be, even though, yeah, he sounds more of a coach, but some people, you gotta learn how to talk to people. And if you don't know how to talk to people and get your message across, no one's going to listen to you. And it seems like that was been Chris Paul's problem all year long. And now I do recall who said that. That was Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin, when he said that, when he left the Clippers and got traded to Detroit, those were certain words that Blake Griffin said about Chris Paul. And, of course, Chris Paul just kind of tore that up in Lob City, or whatever it was back then, in those 6-7 years he was here in LA. That never worked out. But Chris Paul needs to understand and take a step back. Chris Paul is now maybe the fourth option on that team. You look at Kevin Durant being the first option when healthy. Of course, you got to look at Devin Booker. But DeAndre Ayton, a lot of people just want to kind of toss him off to the side and look at the big three. Well, we got Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. No, you are forgetting about DeAndre Ayton, the first overall pick a few years ago. Made it to the NBA Finals 2 seasons ago, averaging 15 and 10, being a dominant center that we don't really have that many nowadays, big guys like that, besides Jokic and Embiid. Those guys shoot the ball a lot. They don't seem like centers. But when you look at DeAndre Ayton, he might be the key part of this whole team right here. This whole thing. So James Jones, the GM of the Suns and newly owner, Ishiba, or whatever his name is, sorry to mispronounce your name, but the new owner for the Suns, they seem to be going all out. They want to win it all this year. If you want to win it all this year, you got to talk to DeAndre Ayton, make sure his head is straight, because DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams are bumping heads. A lot of reports out there, they're just bumping heads. So something got to be fixed down there in order for the Phoenix Suns to make the NBA Finals. But if they don't, you got a couple teams out there that might want to try to sneak in. But another sneaky team that was maybe looking into sneaking in was the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls started off the season with an amazing roster, everyone healthy. Everyone seemed to be on the same page. After going through an 11-game losing streak, everything just seemed to pile down from the Chicago Bulls. At one point, they wanted to sell their team. They want to get rid of DeRozan. They want to get rid of Vucevic. They want to get rid of Zach LaVine. And, of course, one player who has not hit the floor at all this year for the Chicago Bulls has been guard Lonzo Ball. Of course, it was announced yesterday that Lonzo Ball has still been dealing with discomfort and pain in his left knee after having 2 surgeries on it in the past 7 months. So in the past 7 months, Lonzo Ball has dealt with multiple surgeries on his left knee and still have not found the problem. And finally, doctors had said that Lonzo Ball will be shut down for the rest of the 2023 NBA season. So with that being said, Lonzo is expected to be a free agent this season. Who knows if someone might be looking out for him? But Patrick Beverley is his replacement this year. Of course, you heard earlier I said that Patrick Beverley was traded from the Lakers for Mo Bamba to Orlando. Later on, Orlando and Patrick decided to agree into a buyout, became a free agent, and signed with his hometown team, the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls are taking him in with open arms, and they need somebody down there. They need a dog, which we thought we had one at one point. But Patrick Beverley now is Patrick Beverley that we don't like you if you're not on our team. That's the Patrick Beverley he is now, because he already said to a few reporters or on the podcast, he said, I already circled 2 games this season. Circled 2 games. And they're both against the Los Angeles Lakers, a team that traded him. And he said, I'm going to make sure that the Lakers miss the playoffs. So you were just on the Laker team about a week ago. And now you got traded. Now I can maybe feel that you might be a little salty and just want to give it back to the Lakers. Like, come on, Beverly, have a heart. Have a little heart. Have a little bit of love for the team that took you in for a few weeks. You know, the LA fan base and Laker Nation gave you a lot of love, Patrick Beverley. They gave you a lot of love. So for you to throw that shade back at Laker Nation and Laker World and LeBron James, because I don't know who that might be directed to. Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, Darvin Ham, whoever it is. So, Patrick Beverley, I really can't wait for these games now. Now I'm just looking forward to it. I'm pretty sure he did that on purpose. He wants people, marketing tools right there. Beverly's saying he's going to take down on the Lakers, but I'm pretty sure that's not the situation right there that's going to happen. But that is what Patrick Beverley said. That is what's happening with Lonzo Ball. And one more thing, guys, I do want to let you know before we head to another quick commercial break, and I'm going to let you guys know and finish off the breaks with one crazy thought. But Kevin Love got released or agreed to a buyout as well, because there's so many buyouts, releases, and trades happening that he ended up leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers and now joining the Miami Heat. Now you're going to go back up Bam Adebayo, or maybe start, because there's also the Marcus Morris brother over there as well. You got Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry. You got a couple veterans down there. Adding another veteran who's a little slow, a little on his downside, but can still shoot the ball, shooting 38% from the 3. That man can help you and maybe give you somewhat of a little bit of push, because we know Miami. When Miami's in the playoffs, they'll fight. They'll fight to the end. And we've seen that happen when they faced the Lakers in the NBA Finals during the pandemic season or the bubble. And, that is a case. And what's going down in South Beach over there across the town, right across the East Coast for us. But when we return here on These Are the Breaks, I'm going to give you my last thoughts and my crazy thoughts. All right? When we return here on These Are the Breaks.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
What minute? 5 minutes left?
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
And we're back here on These Are the Breaks. Myself, Fredo Cervantes. Of course, while you're here right now, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification button, leave some comments below. If you think I'm crazy, let me know. Let us know here, but make sure you follow us right now. But I do have some interesting thoughts, and of course, you know, I talk a lot about the NFL, and I have my opinions about the NFL, and I know people very close to certain teams, and you know, I'm very, very familiar with a lot of the insight and a lot of the transactions that will be coming up for the Los Angeles Chargers. And this is one major question that made me kind of scratch my head a little bit and kind of realize what are the Los Angeles Chargers thinking of doing. And when you hear the name Keenan Allen, you know that Keenan Allen is all chargered out. That you know that he is a Charger forever, which that might not be the case, because the Chargers are planning in releasing and cutting Keenan Allen to cut payroll. And as well, he is not the only one that will be released alongside tight end Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett and Keenan Allen are both expected to be released by the Los Angeles Chargers in the first week of free agency starting here in March. That is a crazy situation because you realize that Justin Herbert needs these weapons. In order for Herbert and the Chargers to be successful, Keenan Allen is the number one option as a wideout. And if you're looking into releasing a guy because money is a problem, I mean, we're in Los Angeles. You got to spend money to compete. Look at what the Los Angeles Rams have been doing over the past few years, spending the money. And what happened last year? They won the Super Bowl here in Los Angeles, right at their home. So when you look at certain teams that sacrifice payroll, tax money, and extra money that you got to spend, but certain teams that have the money but don't want to spend it, that's the problem right there. That lets you know that they are not looking into maybe winning. They are just looking into staying right where they're at, which that is a situation that, you know, the Chargers have really been over the past few years. But let's not get too sad and too like, oh my God, why would they do that? Well, they are doing that for one specific reason. There's another guy they have a very close eye on, and that man is right in our backyard. And, of course, the Chargers do hold the number 22nd overall pick in this upcoming NFL draft, and they are looking at Mr. Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison, it is the USC standout wideout, one of the best wide receivers that USC has had in the past few years. Jordan Addison had a spectacular year, you know, alongside Caleb Williams. We know what USC was able to do this year. They played very good all year long. They had a kind of a burnouts towards the end of the season, and that's the reason why they lost to Utah. But Jordan Addison was a very key player in reason why Caleb Williams was such a successful quarterback this past season for USC. So with that being said, you see where the Chargers are leaning at. They're looking into cutting payroll and drafting a young guy who can maybe step foot and, you know, into Keenan Allen's footsteps here, because the speed that this young guy, Jordan Addison, has is no speed comparable to what Keenan Allen has. Keenan Allen is good enough, can run the routes, can catch the ball. But Jordan Addison reminds me of Tyreek Hill a little bit. Reminds me of the speed and how quick, and he's not the biggest wideout that you have out there, but he has the hands. At the end of the day, if you want to play some football, you want to be a wide receiver, you got to have some hands. That's exactly what Jordan Addison from USC has hands. But also, what I also have two hands, but I also got to go. It's time for the breaks, because I gave you guys everything I had today. I let you guys know what's happening in the NBA, and I give you my last thought on the NFL season right now, because we're going to be entering a wild NFL free agency. Wild. Last year was crazy. This year is going to be wild. That's all I got to say. And, of course, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me, myself, as well. And, of course, you can watch us here on The Breaks every single week. And I'm out. That's it.
The We just